Hello, I'm Claire Huff from Peterhouse. In response to numerous questions we've had from parents regarding academics, we have put together a question and answer session to address frequently raised issues. Joining me today are our two Directors of Studies, Michelle Scott-Elliot and Andy Griggs. Michelle, what has struck you most about how everyone has transitioned to Peterhouse DigiSchool?
Thanks, Claire. It would have to be the adaptability of everyone. There was a study done a few years ago on the average time needed to implement new ideas into a curriculum, and it should take between 2 to 3 years. We have had to do it in only a few weeks. Last term, the teachers learned how to set up and use Google Classroom in a matter of days, and the girls followed suit. Before this term started, the staff did a week of training before being expected to change the way in which they presented, received, and marked work. The girls in turn have had to adapt to all the new technology as well. It hasn't all been plain sailing, and there's still a lot to learn for everyone. But I feel that on the whole, staff and the girls are making it work and are staying connected.
Michelle and Andy, I know some parents and possibly even some of the children are still confused about the new timetable. Could you please explain it all to us?
Yes, of course. The planning of the academic timetable started with the question, what is a realistic expectation of our girls each day? After looking at a number of schools worldwide who had already begun their online journey, we felt that 6 hours a day would be the maximum we could expect from any pupil. We then looked at how much of that time would be possible to have as live lessons on Google Meet and set work on Google Classroom. For D and C block for their core subjects, Maths, English, Science, and French, the girls will be having one live lesson and one Google Classroom lesson per subject in the 3-day timetable. For the other subjects, they will only be receiving work and guidance from the teachers through Google Classroom. We decided that practical subjects such as art, music, food and nutrition, and DT should remain optional, so as not to overwhelm the girls, but still allow those who re-energize by engaging in these activities the space to do so. For A and B block, the girls will have one live lesson and one Google Classroom lesson per subject in the 3-day timetable. This will mean they engage with the teacher 2 out of the 3 days.
For the 5th and 6th form, there are 2 live lessons in the 3-day cycle, but no scheduled slots for classroom. This is actually in line with our usual practice of having more lesson time in a week than the lower classes have, and also our senior pupils should be learning how to plan their own use of time to a certain extent in preparation for life after school. Work and assignments are of course still being set on Classroom, and deadlines are in place for their submission, but pupils can do the work in their own time.
Andy, I know that some of our pupils are very concerned about examinations. Could you please explain the plan that we have for moving forward with both our school exams and also the Cambridge exams?
Mock exams were of course scheduled for the 2nd week in June, but it's clearly unlikely that they're going to take place at that time. There will definitely be mock exams for our A block, 5th form and 6th form, but these will be scheduled once we know when normal school will resume for our exam classes. Pupils will be given a reasonable lead-in time after their return before we expect them to sit exams. As for the real thing in October-November, Cambridge is going ahead with these exams, and so over the next few weeks our usual checking and cross-checking of entries will be taking place.
And finally, Andy and Michelle, could you just give us a brief rundown about what you miss the most about normal school?
I would have to say the joie de vivre of the girls. The energy is missing from our school, and there's only so much that you can get through a Google Meet.
From the point of view of what I miss about not having classroom time is the eye-to-eye contact with my pupils. It's so much easier to know whether my class is with me when I can actually look them in the eye in terms of understanding than to expect their feedback on a screen during a live Meet lesson.
Thank you for joining us today, and I hope that it's helped to clarify some issues. We'll be doing another question and answer session soon, focusing on emotional and mental well-being, so please watch this space. In the meantime, keep well and stay safe.